welcome to day 2 of the 5x5 challenge. In this video, we will talk about red flags and what behaviors or actions to red flag and make notice of when you're dating someone, because it's often in the early phase that we can notice if someone is a narcissist or is unemotionally unavailable, and you don't really want any of those men because you want a healthy relationship, so we're trying to avoid the ones that we don't want. So a red flags is warning flags, of course, and just because someone has 1, 2, or 3 red flags doesn't mean that he necessarily is a narcissist, but this is for you to not lose track of important things. You shouldn't want important red flags to go unnoticed and let your feelings take over when you're dating someone, because it's easy to do. And one of the reasons why we end up in toxic relationships is because we overtrust our feelings. We think that if we love someone and feel enough for that person, we will be able to work it out. And that's not how it works. You need to make a conscious decision of who you're dating, if you're going to continue to date this person, if this person is worth investing in together with, good to invest in a relationship with or not. You cannot just trust your feelings. You need to do a conscious decision, or you need to make a conscious choice. And the truth is, selection matters. You can't select a person that is not showing up as you want or as you need in the beginning of a relationship and expect that person to transform into someone else later on. So it's all about making conscious choices and being aware of who you're choosing. So red flags when you're dating. I'm going to go through this is a 10 bullet point list. If he keeps in touch with you 24/7, that is a red flag, because he's doing that to make you smitten of him, to kind of pull you in his web, and he's also doing that to keep you off the market from other men, to prevent you from seeing others. So he is in constant contact with you. That is not healthy. It's good to maybe check in if you're dating someone, you feel like it's serious, to have a connection on a daily basis. But if he is constantly engaged with you 24/7, or you feel like he has no other real interest but you, that's a warning flag. If you feel this magnetic and instant attraction, that's also a warning flag, because if you don't know a person, this is the first time you meet that person and you just feel almost in love with that person, there's a reason. And remember that you're attracted to what feels familiar, so you should don't let that go unnoticed. It doesn't have to mean that it is a red flag, but you should notice it. And by the end, after a time, if this person has too many red flags, it probably means that you shouldn't invest in that person. So use this checklist when you are dating someone. If he's making you the center of his world from an early start, that's also not that good. He needs to have his own life. He needs to have his own hobbies. He needs to have his own passions. You can't be his life. So be aware. And if he expresses too early that he loves you, that's a warning flag as well. Love takes time to grow. And if someone is loving you too early, it could be based on previous feelings from the childhood and connections that you have with each other, because you feel familiar with each other. And that is not a good thing. It means you could potentially be attracting a toxic relationship again. So you should be on the lookout for that. And if he's inconsistent with his efforts to make plans with you, this is not only for toxic relationship. This is in general. If you want to attract a good man, he should be consistent. If he's interested in you, he shouldn't be a flake. Things can happen, but if he's inconsistent with the plans he make and his efforts, I mean, it shouldn't be go unnoticed. That's a red flag as well. He should be inconsistent. He shouldn't cancel on plans last minute, and you should feel that you are appreciated and he's valuing your time, but not keeping in touch with you 24/7, because he needs to respect that you have your own life as well. If he's talking about himself mostly and not showing genuine interest in you, that's also a warning flag. Remember that the attraction to what feels familiar still applies here. Maybe you had a parent that had narcissistic traits. They were talking about themselves all the time. They were focusing on themselves. You see this pattern, you feel it as familiar, and you get attracted to a person that is only consumed with himself. So that is definitely a warning flag. Make sure to note if he is genuinely interested in you, if he's asking questions about you, your friends, your family, your hobbies. Make sure that he's not only talking about himself. If he is in need of constant praise and admiration, like if he's fishing for compliments, that's also a no-no, because you want someone that has a solid foundation and is secure in himself. And he might show off as someone that is secure of himself, but if someone is secure of himself, he will not be the one that goes and kind of fishes for compliments, because it means that he needs external admiration or validation, and that's a warning flag. And also beware of signs of lack of empathy. If he's lacking of empathy for things you discuss, and you would think that he should feel something, he should react, this feels like a cold person, so to say. Warning flag. Is he showing signs of previous troubled relationships? We all have them, the troubled relationships, and that's also why you are here. But if you're meeting someone that is, saying that his exes, they are crazy, they are this and they are that, we all met these kind of guys, that's a warning flag, because there's a reason. It's potentially, you could of course just be on a date with someone that has the same experience as you, but most likely you will not be attracted to someone that is the same as you. You will be attracted to what you feel familiar. So just beware. Does he have troubled relationships? It's worth to take notice of that at least. Try to figure out how does his what connection and what relationship does he have with his family, his parents if they're alive. Try to figure out how his relationships are with them. It could tell a great story to you in your decision on who to invest in. And also, is he inconsistent with how often he keeps in touch with you? That's also a warning sign. Like if he's flaky one minute and the other one he's kind of bombarding you with messages and so on. That's a warning sign. He should be consistent. He should consistently try to make an effort to make plans with you. We all know that life happens, but if someone comes up with excuses every time, maybe there's a reason for that. He's a flake. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's a narcissist, but it means that he's a flake and he's making excuses. He's not prioritizing you. And if you choose to continue to stay with a person that acts like that, you can just imagine how it will be down the line to be in a relationship with such a person. So, at the beginning of a relationship, we all try to present our best side. So if someone is not doing that, it's probably not going that well down the road either if you're choosing to stay with that person. So how can you use this checklist when you're dating someone? Use it to intentionally check. Sorry, this is my cat. He doesn't listen when I ask him to stop. So use this checklist when you're dating someone, and you need to date, you need to meet men if you want to find a healthy relationship. You need to put yourself out there, but don't run into the first kind of relationship. Don't see the first best person you go on a date with as a potential love affair or future partner. try to see it as a way of getting to know yourself and getting to know people, and see how you are acting and what you're attracted to, and just, you know, see the red flags. And you will learn a lot from this exercise if you use it when you meet new people. So you can use it when you meet someone, check all the red flags. And I mean, just because they do have a lot of red flags, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are a toxic person. But you should use you should use it to make note of it. And if you're not sure, ask someone for additional help. You can reach out to the group, you can reach out to me, you can reach out to a friend. Ask someone for a second opinion about this person before you make a conscious decision to actually invest and jump into a relationship with this person. So what I also want to add is that not all narcissists can be noticed in the early beginning. Usually the ones that are noticed are the ones that are kind of, you can see their patterns. They're craving attention, they're craving everything, they are keeping in touch with you. Their patterns are kind of, when you know about them, it's so clear. You will see that this person is a narcissist or has narcissistic traits. But there are also covert narcissists which go under the cover. I spent 4 years in a relationship with a covert narcissist. It took me 2 years to realize that something is really, really wrong here. And I couldn't have noticed in the beginning because he was not showing off these red flags in the beginning. So that's why it's also important to not just stop here with the red flags checklist. You need to continue with working on yourself, because you still have abandonment issues, triggers, fears, habits, and beliefs about yourself that you haven't changed. And that's why you are risking of attracting a covert narcissist, which means you will end up with a narcissist again if you just stop doing the work here. That's why you need to finalize the 5x5 challenge. Don't stop here. This is not the only solution. This is one of the tools you can use when you're dating someone, but you need to work on yourself to really prevent yourself from ending up in yet another toxic relationship. So look at this checklist and start to use it if you are dating. So I wish you good luck, and I will see you in the next video of the 5x5 challenge. That will be the third challenge that I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.